mentioned school.
Yep.
What was school like for you? Grammar school, high school, college if you went to college?
Grammar school for me was fun.
What kind of kid were you? Were you a
I
nerd?
got
Were you a
in.
cool
I
kid? A
got in
bully?
trouble. I got in trouble a lot for talking out of turn. You know what I'm saying? The charismatic kid that always wanted to say something funny.
Opinionated?
Not opinionated. I was just. I wouldn't even say the class clown, but I enjoyed people laughing. You know, our English teacher or our social studies teacher would ask me to read a passage about American history and shit like that, and I would like alter my voice to sound like Jesse Jackson.
To entertain the crowd.
Yeah, and be like a preacher on the
Just
pulpit.
trying to make it palatable for the
Yeah,
student.
yeah. But it's funny because you be surprised how you receive information, especially if it's serious. But if you put a comedic spin on it, you'll retain it.
Okay.
So I used to get in trouble, but I was an all right student. I was like a B minus student. And once I moved to Staten Island, I went to IS 51 for 1 year. And then I went to Port Richmond High School. Shout out to all my Red Raiders.
How was your high school days? Was it like the typical teen, or did you not go through the drama of self-conscious and all that crap?
I could say it was smooth because I was the new dude, fresh from Brooklyn, kind of yellow thumb and green grass. They're like, "Who this kid?" And class teachers like, "Oh, everyone, we got a new student. Just transferred from Brooklyn." And all of a sudden, all the girls are like this. "Where? You from Brooklyn? Oh, shit." But, I was the cool kid, short, knew how to rhyme, knew how to beatbox, knew how to draw graffiti. So, pretty much, you could call it having charisma.
This is just random question. Because you do all that, do you think that, because a lot of kids go through a lot of drama in school, especially high school kids, insecurity, hormones, and all that stuff playing a part. Socially awkward. But because you were a graffiti artist, you can rap and all that, did that give you some type of confidence that you didn't, everybody, all the kids are going to have to deal with shit, right?
Yeah.
But when you're good at something, it kind of gives you something to stand on when dealing with somebody. Be like, oh, he's kind of weird or awkward, but he can rap or he can draw. And a lot of those kids that had that, I remember kids in school who were really good painters, and they just had that to fall back on when they were being, when they felt weird in high school, you know what I'm saying? And they were known for that. It was like their security blanket, I guess. Did that help any, knowing that you had these talents?
Looking back on it, I never looked at it that way, but I guess people were drawn to me.
Yeah.
People were drawn to me. And then I guess that multiplied once I went to high school, and then I guess the roller coaster ride took off after I started DJing.
So that led it, you weren't DJing clearly when you first started high school.
No, I was because you dancing. I used to dance all the time.
You're what we say. Well, what I say, you are hip hop.
Oh yeah.
If you participate in the elements, b-boying, writing, DJing, rap, you know what I'm saying, rhyming, you can say that's your culture.
Yep.
You came up in, okay, so that led up into your DJing. When did you do that in high school or after high school?
High school.
High school. So okay.
End of my freshman year, going into sophomore year.
How was that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
If it's a timepiece, this was pre Wu-Tang.
Okay.
So
90,
I got to
1990?
91.
91. Okay.
So I got to see, shout out to my brother Shaheem. I got to see him come in front of Port Richmond with rubber bands and a big ass boombox and battle people every day. We used to cut class and watch people battle. Blase, this is before Protect Your Neck, all of that shit. So it's like
1990.
91.
91. Shaheem must have been how old?
He was the same age as me. He was like 12, 13.
Really?
Yeah.
So when did all right, let me get. I'm about to get into a whole hip hop.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right.
That's all right.
So in high school, you're DJing. Who were you hanging around with? What was your circle like, and how did they influence you?
Well, I was an athlete.
Okay.
Student athlete. I ran track for up into my junior year. So I guess the people that I hung out with were, on the track team, basketball team.
You had a positive. Would you consider your circle positive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what the college discovery program kids.
Oh wow.
People who just excelled. They were smart motherfuckers. But since I DJ'd now, I kind of was like the nucleus. Like everybody met. I was the middle part, so it didn't matter if you was that socially awkward kid, but you had a pair of Jordans.
The DJ kind of does that, right? The
Yeah.
DJ brings everybody together from every social circle because that's the He's providing the backdrop for your night.
Yeah, I was the common denominator. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, after my first party, shout out to Isa. Get well, baby. She's going through chemo right now. I DJ her for her birthday party, and it was over the weekend. And then Monday morning, people who didn't know me was like, "Yo, did you go to Isa's birthday party?" And they're like, "Yeah, I heard about it. Yo, who was DJing? Oh, the little short kid from Brooklyn. The da da da. Oh, word, on the track team, right?" He's like, "Yeah, he's good." He's like, "Yeah, that shit was dope. It was fresh."
Did you have a DJ name in high school?
No, it came later.
It was your government name, or
Yeah, you know what?
You just showed up and started playing music?
I didn't have a struggle with my DJ name because I used to, like I said, I used to tag first. So I went through like 3 tag names. I used to tag.
What was your first tag name?
Lord Phase, Fase. Then I used to tag Okie, O-K-E. I used to like draw it like a bomb with a phase and holding a spray can. And then I settled on Shame because I just like the letters, S-H-A-M-E.
Okay.
So that name...
I've spoken with a lot of graffiti artists. Usually it's the letters that they like doing the most.
Yeah.
They figure out a name for it. Unless they were giving a name throughout the neighborhood type shit.
Right. No, for me, it was just, I like the letters. Okay. I like drawing the S, the H, the A, and the M, the M and the E. And I just found dope ways of how to put it. And I had a signature. Most dudes used to do like a quick 5-minute throw-up piece. I used to go random places and draw like a character, and I would just sign my name, S-H-A-M-E. And, dudes who did graffiti back in high school, they'd be like, "Yo, bro, I saw one of your characters in the alley. That was you?" I was like, "Yeah, that was me." He was like, "Oh, sick, bro, sick." So, like I said, being a DJ and writing graffiti and stuff like that, I used to walk around my little black book. I had a vast majority of people who knew me through the arts.
So the close circle around you, you remember the main friends of yours or whatever?
Yeah.
The main group. You said you were surrounded by positive people.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out of there, those few people you surrounded, because there's this, the sayings, look at your friends around you, you see yourself in the future. So coming out of high school, how did they shape you as a person? You're saying they were positive.
Oh, yeah.
What did you take from them, rather?
Most of our stories were similar as far as like coming from the struggle. The have-nots, we're not rich. We don't come from, middle suburbia. Most people come from poverty. So we can appreciate $1. Even back then, we appreciated $1. So it's like, if we hung out on the weekend, this is before we were driving and all of that. If you didn't have it, I had it. We pretty much share. We shared. You learn how to share. So most of the dudes that I hung out with, money wasn't an issue back then. It was like, yo, if you ain't got it, I got it. As long as we all hanging out together, you're not going to starve. We're not going to sit there and eat a Big Mac in front of you and you're starving with your stomach grumbling. Like, you know what I mean?
So you had good friends?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What was a dream as a child? All right, what was the dream that you had as a child that you thought you wanted to be when you grew up? How did that dream plan out? If it worked out at all?
Well, maybe when I was like 10, I had the aspirations of being a rapper.
Okay. Yeah. And how did that turn out or not turn
out? I got some experience. I performed on the Apollo when I was 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it televised? Can you find it?
You know what? This was with VHS tapes.
Do you remember who was performing that? Who was the main star that night?
I was a special guest from these 2 twin brothers who sang, Haddad and Darryl, and I came on this as a special guest. And
what year is this?
1980 something.
Wow.
And rest in peace to Mr. Ralph Cooper. He was the original owner of the Apollo Theater. Tall, slim, slick back hair, kind of look like a pimp, and whatever. And I met Carl Anthony Payne that played Cole from Martin. I met Big Daddy Kane and Biz Markie downstairs in the green room. So they were like, hey, little man, what you doing? I was like, I'm a rap. They're like, all right, little man, all right, we're gonna check you out. So but it was my father. Like I said, big ups to my father. It was like I came to him one day. I was like, yo, I want to rap. My father was like, really? Let me hear something. And being that I had a large vocabulary for a 10-year-old, he's like, all right.
You remember your first rap?
Hell no.
No.
Hell no. He was like, I'll tell you what. He said, I'm gonna buy you a rhyme dictionary, so you can expand your vocabulary. And he's like, he used to just give me beats.
So he was supportive.
Yeah, he used to give me
That's
beats,
super dope.
and I would sit there and come up with I think I remember like the first line. My first rap name was Grandmaster Crash. I don't know why. Don't ask.
I ain't gonna front. If you had dropped in the 80s and came out, that's a tough name.
Grandmaster Crash
is kind of hard for the 80s.
Like, I'm Grandmaster Crash and I rock the mic. Some shit like that. I don't even remember that shit. Grandmaster Crash. And I had a whole, like, Fila custom-made suit with Grandmaster Crash on the back with a fresh pair of custom Pumas. Like, my father, he was instrumental. He's like, oh, you want to do something? All right, let's do it. He's like, you want to B-boy?
You know what? That's dope because not for nothing, in the black community, fathers are rare.
Yeah. Supportive fathers. Physical, being there.
Being there, that's just that alone is, and if they're doing extra by giving you beats and getting you rhyme books and teaching you and just, feeding your dreams or just your ideas, that's super rare. I personally not one of my friends has their father in their life. I'm one of the rare persons. So every time I hear that,
right,
it stands out because I rarely come across it.
Shit, my father used to bring me to Albany Park on a Saturday morning before he went to go play basketball. We had a big ass boom box and some cardboard, and he would put on what was that, at the African Bambaataa, Planet Rock.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all right, son.
Let me see what you got.
Let me see your moves. Let me see what you got.
What would you change if you could about your childhood? In 30 seconds or less.
Probably nothing. You got to take the good with the bad.
It makes you who you are.
Yeah, it builds character. If I didn't go through any of that, what I went through in Brooklyn and Staten Island and then venturing off to, the military, it wouldn't have shaped me to the person I am today.